Start, Mr. Savage.
Well, before you start, Dan, I just want to talk about like our home crowd. I think that was so much excitement in the building. We talk about this homestand and what it means to our guys, but also what it means to the fans to be able to play, to give the energy and the juice that our guys played with. You know, we got that from them. So it was exciting for these guys to be a part of in this homestand.
You're stealing my questions, but
okay.
On top of that, your group was able to turn them over tonight. Just how much was that defensive intensity help lead to some of the offensive success?
Well, that second quarter was big for us. We didn't start out the way we wanted to, but again, our guys weathered the storm, understood that it was going to be a game of runs, and started to bear down defensively, understanding that, they were going to make some threes, but again, our job was to try to keep them out of the paint. We didn't do a great job of that, but again, having them shoot contested threes is where, we hung our hat on that side of it.
Coach, you just mentioned the crowd and the energy. Things were a little flat at the beginning of the game. How much can you attribute the energy to your bench and those four guys that came in and really steadied things in the first half and in the third quarter as well?
I mean, that was big. Chuma came in and did a great job. RJ came in and did a great job with his ball pressure, his intensity. Gary and T. Ross are always coming in, trying to get things going and the ball moving, and then just the changing up of the defense. But it turned our intensity up, and those guys did a great job together out there.
How much is Chuma, especially defensively, an example of the active hands that you're looking for from all the guys? It seems like he's able to flip the game around. I know the focus is the threes he made, but just the active hands he has.
I think that the defense is more important for what he's able to do in these situations, guard multiple positions, and especially a team like that has so much versatility in different positions, and that he's able to guard multiple positions, switching 1 through 5 essentially in this situation. And he was just great with his active hands, steals, deflections, a couple bell plays, being at the rim with the block shots. So all those things are where he can thrive in games like this.
We know Chuma had some the struggles with injuries early in the year, and he's needed some time to get his rhythm back. How big has he been, or how pleased have you been to see the kind of improvement that he's made to find that consistency and be such a potent weapon off the bench tonight? Tonight was the biggest night, obviously, but wasn't the first time that he's kind of helped turn the game with both his shooting and his defense.
Well, I think his resiliency and ability to just stay with it, through the injuries, through whether it's shooting woes or whatnot, he's always stayed with it. He comes in the gym, gets his work done, and he stays as a constant professional. And so it's big to see him get rewarded for that. But he's always makes big plays defensively down the stretch. And now that the shots falling, he finds a little bit more of a comfort zone.
Coach, I know RJ's been out, and he was a game time decision even tonight with the ankle. I don't know if you plan on him playing 23 minutes, but Jalen got in foul trouble, and Cole's even in a little foul trouble. How big was RJ tonight, just kind of steadying things in the backcourt?
I mean, for him to come off of 5 weeks of not playing and then just step right in and defend the way he defended, making the decisions that he made at times, I think that's huge. We always talk about guys staying ready, and he took the time out as he was off to, get his conditioning right, to look at his decision-making, to talk about what he needed to do on the floor for us. And he did that for us tonight. So that's big that he stepped into that role ready to go.
Jalen got in that early foul trouble, as we mentioned earlier. How big can that be as a learning moment for him to try to correct those things moving forward?
I think those are big moments, and we'll watch it on film tomorrow. Go back and look at certain situations, the time, and understanding when your aggression is necessary, when it's not. You don't want to take that away from that young man, because that's part of what makes him him. But again, understanding when, where, and how you want to be able to defend the ball the right way. Whether it's your active hands, knowing when to do that.
When you talk about kind of this team learning how to put all the pieces together and kind of get that winning attitude, how important is it to be able to close the game out the way that you guys did today? I mean, you obviously came back, had the lead for most of the second half, weren't able to kind of run away from them. You had to really execute down the stretch. How important can this be as a again, learning point for this young team?
These guys, and we're going to keep learning to understand in what situation we find ourselves in and how we react to them. So knowing that it's a game of runs and guys are going to make, they're going to make shots. We have to understand we got to keep our poise. And that's what we were able to do tonight in those situations where they did make some big shots, got some easy looks, and we kept our poise and still maintained our execution down the stretch.
Okay, go to Luke Hentrick, Spectrum Sports on Zoom.
Hey, Jamahl, given that there was such a long break coming into this game, what value and impact does this have for such a young team being able to play like this after such kind of a layoff?
I think it's big. I think it's very big. You talked about like what our home crowd did and giving us the energy there, but our guys understanding what those couple days of practices did, as well as the shoot around, knowing that the work that we're putting in, you can see the results of it, of them understanding the process of what we've been doing, the decision making, the defensive effort that we put forth. I think we're continuing to see that and recognizing that work that it takes in order for us to continue to get better.
Anything else for Coach Mosley? All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
they got some extra in the back for you. That'll never happen in the studio. No, I'm just fine.
Chuma, how much energy and focus did you feel that second unit bring in tonight to help turn the tide, especially second quarter on?
I feel like we came in with a lot of energy. I feel like that's what we saw that we had to do, being that we came out kind of flat in the first quarter, and also at halftime too. So we just whenever the first unit lacks energy like that, we just try to come in and pick them up. And then we did that, and then, came in and finished off the game.
Okay, Chuma, this is Melissa Thomas of Florida National News. One quick thing and then the question. First quick thing, awesome shirt, favorite character. But my question for you, we heard from Wendell, he mentioned that even from as far back as when you guys were younger, like one of the things he wanted to reiterate to you is to just be a confident player, know that you're a scorer. Kind of talk about how that came through for you in tonight's game.
Yeah, so I was just basically what you just said, just trying to stay confident in myself, believe that every shot I make is going to go in, and even if the shot that I think is going to go in don't go in, just move on to the next shot. Short-term memory, and that's what I try to do tonight, and it worked out.
Jim, we also asked Wendell about your defense, especially your activity with your hands. I guess where did that come from in terms of your active hands on defense? I guess how much has that helped you stay engaged, not just defensively but also offensively?
Probably just when I was a kid. I'm just playing basketball and, playing against older kids. And it go way back to just one dude. He used to just say certain stuff when he was playing defense, and I probably picked up on it, how his hands be out on defense. So I probably picked up on that too, and then I just kept going with it. I forgot your second question.
I guess how much does your defense, feed your offense, being that active and being that energized?
I feel like it feeds it a lot. When you're doing things on both ends of the floor, I feel like you're gonna get rewarded. So that's what I just try to do: come out and play hard on defense and offense, and just try to play a whole overall game.
Talked a little bit about kind of finding your comfort and comfort zone. How important have the last few weeks been to kind of get that rhythm that you need offensively, especially with kind of starting as behind as you did at the start of the year with the injury?
It's been important. Just because I feel like this is for the whole team, but I feel like whenever I play good, it gives us a better chance of winning as well. So, whenever shots, coaches always say it's just a miss or make a lead. So, just control what you can control. So I know I always can control my energy, my effort, and, how I play on defense. You can't control if the shot's going in. That happens with the work before games and in the gym after practice and before practice. So, that's really it.
Chuma, with now about 21 games left in the season, what are you trying to get out of this final stretch, and how good is it to come out of the All-Star break with a victory to set the tone for the final stretch of the season?
We're just trying to grow as a team, continue to grow. I feel like we're a good team. The record don't really do us justice, so just continue to grow and just build into that summer, and then just work in the summer.
Anything else? All right, thank you. Go ahead, Dan.
Wendell, Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com. Coach had talked, and you guys had talked all week about how energetic and focused the practices were and shoot around leading into this one. Just how much from the second quarter on did you feel that focus and energy carry over?
No, I feel like we did a phenomenal job. Those second, third, and fourth quarters. The one thing I continue to preach is just our third quarter starts. No matter what happens in first and second quarters, as long as our third quarters and of course fourth quarters are on point, because that's what playoff championship teams do. We start off kind of sluggish, pretty obvious. We had 2 points in like the first 3 or 4 minutes or something like that. But I feel like we picked it up. Cole did a really good job of getting our juice going on the offensive end. And we kind of used that and kind of helped us through the second, third, and fourth quarters.
Wendell, how much did when you're on the bench, you're seeing the bench guys come in and provide that spark in the second and in the fourth? How much does that help you guys when the stars come back? I just keep that energy, especially defensively.
No, just to start off, a lot of these guys that's coming out the bench are starters. You know what I'm saying? So like they understand, what it takes to win. And they've been on winning teams. So Terrence Ross, Gary Harris. And I mean, the list goes on. The guys that come off the bench, they understand. So T. Ross gave us a great push on both ends of the floor. Gary Harris did the same thing. So, that's always important, especially when our starters, which it shouldn't happen, but when the starters are sluggish to start the game, it's always important to have someone that, can kind of provide that juice for us. And, we kind of just ride that wave.
Wendell, Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. What was the halftime conversation like for you guys? Because, to your point about having a strong third quarter, we definitely saw that, especially in the fourth. What was that locker room conversation for you guys?
Before the coaches came in, I say the same thing every game. It was a game of runs in the first and second quarter. They started off hot. We got hot, went back and forth. But the third quarter is always about, establishing our identity for the rest of the game. So, I say that almost every game to my teammates, and then the coaches came in. They kind of were on the same thing. Like they started off hot, we got hot. Now it's about getting stops and getting quality shots on the other end. I feel like we did a really good job of that outside of the turnovers that we had.
Chuma, I think, had a career high 26 tonight. How much of a lift did he bring tonight, and how much of a lift has it been for him the last several weeks, where I think his offense has started to come around to add to the defense?
Man, we see Chuma every day in practice, and we know what he's capable of. One thing we always try to preach to him is just stop second guessing. You're a scorer. You're a scorer in this league, and we try to preach that to him. I try to preach it to him like, you catch it, shoot it. If you don't got the shot, drive it. A lot of people can't stay in front of him, especially when he's playing the four position. So, this isn't anything that a surprise to me. I kind of expect that from him for sure.
From what you said, how much do you see Chuma's defensive activity, whereas steals, just active hands, feed him offensively? Like the more active he is defensively, the better he does on offensively. So.
Chuma's a great defender. I played with him when I was a kid, and he's always been that lanky kid who can move his feet, can guard all guards. We always used to put him on the best player. So I knew he was a great defender. It was just about him being confident and being comfortable. And I feel like he's coming into himself as a player, and he understands what he can provide for this team. Being a great scorer and being able to sit down and guard anybody that they put in front of him. So that's something that he does a really good job of for sure.
You had a pretty solid game statistically yourself. Where do you think you've seen the biggest growth, or what did you kind of reflect on during the All-Star break to kind of help you kind of refocus and get ready for the finishing kick here for the season?
This is my fourth year in the league, and I took this All-Star break, got away from the game, kind of got my mental together, because that's something I struggle with myself, is getting down on myself or getting too caught up in the game. So I took this time and kind of got away from the game. So these last two practices, I pushed myself. I went hard just to get my win back and get my feel back for the game. And then it's kind of like playing with a fresh start coming out of the All-Star break. So, that's kind of how I looked at this game just now. I just came out, free flowing, let the game come to me, don't force anything. So, that's kind of what I did over the break to kind of prepare me for this first game.
We're good. Also, you guys should note that Wendell was here last night.